So I wanted to see what would happen if I cut my screen time to almost zero through using this phone, the Nokia 105. Okay, so let me give you a number. 6 hours, 38 minutes. That is the average screen time of a normal adult, which is crazy because that is more time than the time we spend sleeping or talking to each other. And the craziest part is that most of it is unconscious. It's a reflex. So I've been using this phone for the past 30 days, and what happened was both expected and a lot of things I never expected. Okay, so quick facts. An average person picks up their smartphone 96 times a day. That means once every 10 minutes. And for my generation, Gen Z, our average screen time is about 9 hours a day. Okay, so every time you get a notification, a like or reply, your brain releases dopamine. And dopamine is the same neurotransmitter that is associated in hunger and drug addiction. And the stats get even crazier. In 2023, an MRI scan found that when people receive likes on social media, there was higher activity in the striatum, the brain's reward center. The same region that lights up when someone is literally on a high drug like cocaine. So as Gen Z, we get a lot of smack for being lazy, but what chance do we have when billion-dollar corporations are spending billions of dollars to make sure that we spend as much time on their applications and on our smartphones?
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
And in another study that followed 7,000 young people saw that every extra or every additional hour that they spent on their phone actually made them more prone to mental health diseases like sleep disruption, anxiety, and depression. So after going through all of the stats, it's clear that something has to change. So instead of downloading another application, going on a vacation that I can't afford, I decided to do something cheaper and more effective, which is to change my smartphone. Now this was actually easier because I did not have any other phone, so literally I had no other option. So after going through all of the stats, I decided that something had to change. So I sold my Nothing Phone 3 and got myself a Nokia 105, which kind of made it more easy because I did not have to fight the urge to use my smartphone because I had no smartphone at the time. Okay, so let me introduce to you the device that is apparently supposed to be fixing me. This is the Nokia 105, and yeah, it really looks something else. Let's see what it has to offer in 2026. So first and foremost, you get a 2.3-inch color display, a numerical keyboard, which by the way feels incredibly satisfying, and the sound is yeah. You get dual SIM support, which is crazy that Nokia still provides this. It has no internet connectivity. The battery lasts a very long time if you're not using the phone, which you are not using most of the times. And it uses a classic USB charger. And lastly, it has FM radio. So radio is something that we always need. Okay, so let's talk about what this phone doesn't have. It doesn't have TikTok, it doesn't have YouTube. It doesn't have Instagram, and it doesn't have WhatsApp, which is perfect. It's crazy that HMD are still making these smartphones, but who knew that somewhere along the way this would actually be a lot of people's main driver. So for an experiment to actually happen, you need a set of rules that can be followed that someone else might do them. And the rules that I had were very simple. The first rule is that no smartphone, which was very easy because I had no other option, so no using a smartphone. The second rule was for work. So for work, I have to be available on WhatsApp, and I also have to see some emails and video editing, etc. So for all of those tasks, I'll be using my laptop. And trust me, it is very, very hard to doom scroll Instagram using your laptop. And lastly, rule number 3 is no cheating so that we can get the true results. Okay, so week 1 was surprisingly easy because I had anticipated what was going to happen. Because keep in mind, I had no phone at this point. But from time to time, boredom hit, and by time to time, I mean every time standing in line or late at night. Now, week 2 is when things started to get extra hard. Keep in mind, we have these habits that we do with our smartphones. For example, every time when I'm having lunch or supper, I'm watching an anime. Before I go to bed, I might watch a sitcom, The New Girl, or The Office, Blackish. So all those things now had to be replaced with dead silence. And this is what researchers would call withdrawal methods. And it was weird not having notifications, not talking to anyone for the duration of the night until I went back to work, which kind of felt like solitary confinement, if I am to be honest. And no notification pings, just dead silence. Then we move on to week 3. Now week 3 is when things started to shift a bit. Because I was having these withdrawal methods, I started planning or substituting certain behaviors with certain things. For example, instead of watching anime when I'm eating, I can just sit down and contemplate the thoughts of the day. And the other interesting thing that happened is I started reading again. You see, for a while, it had been almost 4 years since I read a book. I read almost every famous self-help book, but because of all the social media and screen time, I literally did not have any time. By the end of week 3, this was done. So this means that my focus was actually enhanced by this experiment. Because week 3 was filled with so much reading and so much creativity to be done, and also scripted a couple of YouTube videos, week 4 quickly came by. And by week 4, now everything now felt smooth. I started seeing this less as a punishment or an experiment, but more of a tool that I would use. As a person who does not normally call people, I found myself calling people because that was the most effective ways of communication, and that also improves relationships with people. And I got more work done, I got more scripts written, I got to sleep early, and my sleep improved, and I got to talk to my family, got closer to my family, read my Bible, got closer to God. So all in all, this experiment was a success. And I know that for most people, it can be very hard to do this thing because your work is on your phone. So this is really more of a privilege. But if you can practice staying away from your phone or using different applications that might help you not doom scroll or not do things on your phone that is not necessary, then you probably should do it. It is not a secret that our smartphones are literally messing up with our mental health. Imagine going on Instagram around 10 and you're seeing a 17-year-old buy your dream car while you're 25 and you don't have a car. So with all that being said, the experiment was a success. So tell me if you can have the privilege of doing such a thing, and if not, that's still okay. Until the next video, I'm Munya Jiara, and this is the tech behind. Stay blessed.